need this education. I need to get a scholarship. My parents always taught me respect your elders. So it would be like the greatest thing to, go on in life, making them proud, letting them see that I'm growing up, I'm doing well, getting what they never got. I see me being the first one in my family ever going to college and being so, so proud.
I think the can-do philosophy allows teachers, educators to see that there's a lot that these students can do. Education really is a lot more than engagement just between the teacher and the student. It's really engagement that's based within the community, and the families are a key part of that engagement.
Y si ustedes pudieran pensar en qué metas tienen para sus hijos.
Pues que se graduaran, que terminaran una carrera, ir al colegio y todo, que es lo que más nos gustaría hacer a todos. Una cosa de que les decimos que eso es para ellos, no para nosotros.
Para mí, en mi persona, como para ella, un orgullo que hablen inglés y español, que dices, wow, no todas las familias tenemos esa dicha, porque por X cosa otros padres a lo mejor ellos ven que no es tan necesario enseñarles su español a sus hijos y pues crecen hablando puro inglés, pero en nuestra persona, a mí el inglés y el español es lo mejor y el inglés es la llave.
Everything we do at World Class Instructional Design and Assessment, or WIDA, revolves around the significance of academic language and how to empower language learners to reach for success. Academic language is used in classroom materials like textbooks, classroom discussions about specific subject area content, as well as assessments. WIDA aspires to provide equitable educational opportunities for English language learners, or ELLs, within and beyond classrooms. That aspiration begins with an enhanced understanding of what meaningful education with ELLs looks, sounds, and feels like.
We tend not to think about language, especially if you're a content area teacher in a middle school or high school, in a secondary environment. During your pre-service education program, you may not have spent a lot of time looking at the role of language in how you teach your science class or your social studies class. But we know that language is absolutely vital to all students in the classroom.
So today, guys, remember students will compare and contrast different crops. What does that word compare mean? Karina.
Like you... No, go with it.
Okay. Sashna?
Compare like you and Cecilia, and you compare them together and what's different and what's not.
Yeah, so compare, remember, is what's alike, and contrast is what's different.
We really need all educators within a school building engaged in teaching these students and making sure that they have the access and engagement to rich content that they can only get if we as teachers are aware of the role of language and the development of academic language in these students being successful. And teachers are building that into their lesson plans. They're thinking about their content goals, they're thinking about their language goals constantly.
We have two areas of goal setting and working with objectives. We're working with content objectives and we're working with language objectives. So really the content piece is building background in science knowledge. The science teacher is really integrating the scientific method into her curriculum, and I want that to be cycled through as well in my class so that students have multiple experiences with it in different ways, and that we can look at the language with the content, with the experience. Students may need more time with the language, so describing a process and working with aspects of that when we go back to tell what we did, they'll be able to use transitions like first, second, third, fourth, and do some writing around that. And then building in the scaffolds of vocabulary, cycle through in a variety of ways, but ultimately working with the reading and the writing pieces, the language pieces.
I think on the surface, academic language is, it seems quite straightforward. It's the language that students encounter once they enter school. It's what's spoken around them, it's what they're asked to read, it's what they're asked to write, and what they have to listen to with their teachers every day. And that is a very broad construct. It's only really when we start to look under the surface to describe and characterize what that is that it becomes really complex.
The ocean turning to ice. Okay, rain goes up and when it gets colder and colder it makes snowflakes. And the ice turns into oceans.
The one way that we've tried to understand academic English and how it develops is to break it down into three broad categories. You can think about language at the word level, you can think about language at the sentence level, and you can think about language in terms of the discourse level. And by the discourse level, we're talking about language beyond the level of the sentence when sentences start to be put together for a purpose. So you can think of discourse as really encompassing all the different ways in which we use language in real situations. And that is we've found to be a very intuitive way to organize an understanding of language in order to capture characteristics of language in the classroom.
Give me a little retail, Kusai. Can you do that?
This chapter is about the Mrs. Firstly that.
Los de afuera, ¿qué es el rol de ustedes?
No puedo hablar.
No pueden hablar. Tienen que nomás comunicarse por sus comentarios. ¿Con la excepción de qué? ¿La silla qué? La silla caliente.
This is a 10th grade Spanish language arts class that forms part of a bilingual program. We have about 680 students in our program. There's a huge amount of diversity in who they are linguistically. We ask that our bilingual students and our ESL students, our dual language and our ESL students, take language arts all 4 years to develop literacy. It's important because they have to take English for 4 years. We want them to take the Spanish as well, so that they're constantly becoming really good language users on both sides.
Número 6 que dice, sé que está mal hacer esto, pero solo ser joven una vez. Yo creo que algunas veces decimos eso cuando...
We did have a bilingual program at my high school, but we were not given the opportunity to develop that Spanish academic language throughout all 4 years of high school. Students are required to go through a series of steps which really does help develop that academic language in Spanish.
In both languages, I really think I see kids in our classes that I think that they're better students in English because they're in the bilingual program, because it makes them think differently. I really think that the bilingual brain is different in the sense that they have more ways to look at something than just one way. They have several different ways to see something.
You don't have to change who you are. You know, the language of school and professional language is important, and it is needed. You have to learn that for yourself. But the language of school it has been valuable to me because that has given me a sense of pride almost, and being able to articulate and to say what you mean in a way that, you know, is professional and you can use, you know, the vocabulary you work so hard to learn. Why not?
Morning. Good morning, Brooke. Good morning, Hannah. Good morning, Gabby. Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning, Lucy. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing, Zaria? Good morning, Brandon. Good morning, Dennis. Good morning, Chua. Good morning. Good morning, Ashu.
Paula.
Good morning. You guys
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, Sam?
How dare you?
Go ahead.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Am I getting a new phone?